When I give you a 250, get up. You gotta work on me. Hmm. Contentious. Don't go. We gotta go. All right. Right. All right. All right. All right. Now you got into that post-traumatic slave syndrome. Not with y'all. Well, I don't know. I don't remember what I was gassed on. I think I was gassed on greater understanding. I was watching Miles Monroe, so when I get into that money, it's gone. And then it was a settling because my spirit had been roused to anger. I angered myself when I shouldn't have. And because that's why I miss what I miss. I already know. I already know. Because you ain't supposed to be given to anger. I don't care what a person do. I'm not, I'm not like them. I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. We can't. I really, that's how I live, fam. You say what you want to say about me, but I'm telling you the God honest truth about this what it is. I don't have time to play. It is what it is, fam. We get into it, and this is a new day. I'm gonna sit here and make this video. I'm sitting there watching. Who said Dante Force? I like I like Dante Force's channel. Dante Forcing real, he real to me. Dedicated, determined to prove, which is good. He is real. That's what he's supposed to do, right? That's what he an Israelite. That's what he's supposed to do. But I want to kind of piggyback off the approach of the Hebrews when they approach this understanding who the Gentiles are. I think if we don't determine and establish based on the word, then we're in trouble, family. We're in trouble. Because know that in itself, I know it's gonna stop a lot of arguing, a lot of debating, like who's Israel, who's not Israel, who are the Hebrews, who are not the Hebrews, who are the Jewish people, who are not. Like, it's crazy. But for one, for the sake of truth, speaking of truth, the Hebrew Israelites, Hebrews of the bloodline, chosen bloodline, descendants. I hear a lot of people speaking about Eber, which I understand. I go back to the root. You have, and we know the Negroes are not Hamites. Not so much necessarily from external information, which it matters, but it doesn't determine. You are only confusing whites. Blacks are super intelligent. Yes, the whites are intentional. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna even say that. I'm gonna leave that alone. But I like him. I like this guy here. Yes, sir. I like that. But Gentiles, and that's what I want to do. Speak a language people understand. Why? Because we are the priests. We are the sons. That is your obligation, your duty. That is what you're called for. To come to the knowledge of and to operate in as sons of Yahuwah. Right now, everything is right now, um, not with this idea that God isn't real and alive, and what has been established for us to fulfill as kingdom citizens don't really matter. But then when you look at the source of where that approach come from, it goes back to my premise. The reason why I'm doing this video is because the Gentiles tell you that. Think about it. The Gentiles know a lot about those in power. But then again, they don't. We take for granted that they do, but they're getting all that information they got out of Africa and through encounters with us of native descent. And I'll say native because you the first one that came over here. I respect that. But you gotta understand, you're Israelite. Y'all the first. You came over here because you was expelled out of the northern house because of disobedience. You know, I hear them saying, "Yeah, no, it ain't how it worked. Your house is still the ancient house of Israel. It don't change. You can't place the ancient house with America because you was the first over here. And I know that's all based on this Gentile approach. We have to constantly study, 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 study. Yes, that's the law. Study to show yourself approved unto the Most High. Not to be debating your fellow brothers and sisters all day. Those who love Christ. Ever learning and never coming to the knowledge of truth, that ain't gonna get it, family. When we speak what we know because the scriptures teaches us so, right? Parable of the vineyard, America, the 400-year prophecy of the second Exodus. Ooh, wow. Wonder who put that out there. Today we're talking more about prophecy. Oh, this is a Jewish guy. The role that America holds, some of the parallels in Egypt, Assyria, captivity. Yes, it's right here in America. I want to hear this guy. Fair use copyright. Fair use copyright. Let's see, Jewish parable of the vineyard. You see the Jew. Hey, that's the thing too. I have nothing against European people, but that's I want to touch on too. For our brothers and sisters to think that, first of all, I'm not even on that. Here's my approach. Gentiles. Who are the Gentiles, family? Nations. These are the tables of nations, right? Now, let's see who the Bible says the nations are. The first nation we're going to read about are the sons of Japheth. Genesis 10, chapter 1, from verse 2 to 5. We'll be dealing with the Gentiles. Then we go from verse 5 to verse to verse 20. And then we go from 20 to the end of the chapter for the sons of Shem. You can trace every nation from verse 2 down to through Japheth, down into the sons of Ham, Canaan. But for some reason, when it comes to Shem, down to verse 19. But for some reason, when it comes to verse 20, you'll get a clear reading on these nations. Table of nations. Let's get it. Genesis 1, verse 2. The sons of Japheth. Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus. The sons of Japhet, Gomer. I got to go get the book. And Magog. Gog of Magog, I believe, are the Russians. Madai are the Medes. Javan are the Greeks. Tubal, I will have to look up. But I believe, no, I will have to look it up. I'm not going to guess. And Meshach and Tyrus, I will have to look those up, which I do have written. It's been a while. Bear with me. But I'm going to bring my computer out so we can look these nations up. But the point being, the Gentiles are the European nations. That's a fact. All of them, even the people the Jewish people, these are Europeans, the same as who you call the white man. Now, they're going to argue that up and down, but I don't go by what man says. And I prayerfully hope that they will heed the word instead of going off man's interpretation, like Dr. Monroe will explain to you if you pay attention. You go to seminary school, but they don't teach you the foundation of kingdom culture. They don't teach you nothing about the kingdom. Just like he said, because when you have a conversation with a religious person, first thing they're going to tell you about are commentaries. They're not going to go chapter straight to the verse like you hear me reading here. Verse 3. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz. So we understand Gomer there might be Gomer. He has to be Slavic. He could be a Gomer. He's the father of the Turks, Ashkenaz. You have Ripah and Togarmah. Togarmah are the Turks. Ripah, I believe that's the Armenians, if I'm not mistaken. Then you have the Ashkenaz. We know who they are. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodam. By these were the isles of the Gentiles. These are all the white people. Why can you say that, Wayne? How do you say that? You go in Daniel chapter, you can follow the trace. It's easy. Follow each chapter. And matter of fact, get your Strong's Concordance. And you look up Gentiles. And it's going to walk you through wherever the Bible is talking about the Gentiles. One thing about it, Most High don't lie. All that stuff man talking about, and even when it comes to the Hebrews, the bloodline, you know, of the chosen, of the Shemitic people who are set apart. Let's just say that these are set apart people. We know they're chosen. They're chosen to do to handle a specific duty in the kingdom, in their father's kingdom. That's how that goes. And can't no man, woman alive change that. You can't take it, negate it, or remix it. How they try to do, they try to remix stuff. Because why? You or him telling you, like I hear the Gentiles, Jewish in particular. And then you have those who say, oh no, we're white. They're not white. All y'all the same. You have the Ashkenazi telling you that they have been keeping history for 3,000 years. And I'm like, how? How? I can understand you having, okay, what was established before the many scatterings, but Once all scattered, where is that time? When we understand during the Babylonian captivity. Around that time, you had other nations who came in. That's when you had your Gentile European nations coming into the fold. Were they dealing with? Yeah, but they were coming in down into the promised land area. And it's not just that little old slither of land, it goes all the way up to Turkey. Then it crosses over and goes down to Iran and through Iraq. And then it crosses over, goes through, covers basically all of Saudi Arabia, which that area is the middle of the earth, the center, leading over all the way to that little strip of land. They say it's only the promised land. That's a lie. It goes down Saudi Arabia, under Sudan, and then goes upward towards the Gaza. You can read it in Genesis 12. It explains it's not that little old slither of land. I mean, it really encompasses a whole lot of Saudi Arabia. That's Shem's out. Now, think about it. Who made those descriptions? The same people over there in the land today who saying that they are God's people. Who are the publishers? They are. Look at the copyright. You can follow. These things you can know because you can trace them. Do your due diligence. If you're a son of your father, now it's time. You got to turn on your Columbo. You got business to handle. You can't go off half cocked or because we see a group of people that are in charge and we assume that, okay, these people have hijacked us for our identity. Well, what gives you the identity, Mr. Negro? How do we know you're the sons and descendants of Shem? We know in part because of the word. And then there's a spirit that's operating on our people. And then when you do the research, it'll show you, it'll prove it. And there's genetic research, there are cranial studies, there are you have anthropological study that can trace our genetic code back to that land, to that area, heavily, especially around that area they call Sumer. I meant what I said, not just Samaria, but Sumer. Because that land up there is where Assyria came from, remember? And Assyria is the land of Ashur. Ashur is the son of who? Shem, the Shemites. These are Negroes. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were Negroes. Noah was a Negro. Oh no, Noah looked like he was white. Just because Noah was an albino family. That's why he looked white. Noah was an albino. He was albino. And he said his skin color was light, like milky. Bro, how you got a picture of a pharaoh, European pharaoh? Why? How you got all these white people coming out of Egypt? Bro, we get full details. That ain't gonna work. Black resilience rising was foretold. And that's why I'm tapping into this Bible. This is a touchy conversation. Many people don't like to have this conversation, they don't touch it. But I assure you, the Gentiles, the Most High is talking about, and I'm not offending anyone because what I'm saying is I'm saying it out of love for truth. And to love the Most High is to speak the truth because He is truth. You can't fear no one. And what you establish, it has, like I said, it has to be established on the word. And it must be true, family. And you know that can cost a brother or sister saying things like that. So no, I'm not gonna come over here playing. Now when we go in Daniel 7, it gives you a description of the nation. You have the lion head, that's Babylon. That's that area of Assyria. Around the area of Babel, Assyria, Ashur, all that area. Then you have the Medes, Madai, Media, Persia Empire, the Medes and Persia. Then you have the Greek Empire, Europeans, Medes. We just read about Meda. It was the Persian Empire. Those so-called Greeks, the 300, that's supposed to have been the Hebrews. Remember, I believe the Maccabees that fought to preserve the southern kingdom when you had those European nations coming in there. And I'm going to say European because Rome is, the nations that came out of Rome are modern day European nations. Now, the Europeans might not know that. A lot of them might not know that, but I assure you, the Ecclesia know it. They got the books. I mean, how do you think I know this? The information is there. You can put it together. And you can study the word for yourself and do the research. Those names you read are going to come back. That's where etymology come in. That's where it matters. You got to understand when these people came in, these not the people the Most High was dealing with. Although He allowed them into His court, yes, the King will consider you, and if you are upright and hold fast to His good and perfect will and endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So you know He's opening the door and allowing others to come in. That's the only point I want to make. Yes, He will. Yes, He has. And that means something. Because now the people don't understand. Now you see Genesis chapter 9, verse 24, 27 really coming into place now. Because why? Japheth shall dwell in the tents of Shem. Shall be, excuse me, enlarged, deceived. That word means deceived. To believe like you hear today. The Ashkenazi. They'll tell you they are the chosen people, but they are not Hebrew Israelites. I go on record saying that because the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible, Genesis 10, you have to stick with what the Father says. This is not no campaign against white people. This is a campaign to establish the truth. And that way we can go about establishing the kingdom. You're not going to understand this if you don't understand what the king has declared. And what his word, in his word he declared is law. And that law, which is instructions, establishes the culture of the kingdom and how the people should go about fulfilling their purpose here in the earth. I got some heavy stuff on my plate, but I ain't gonna worry about it because I know me being a son of the Most High, he already gave it to us. You're dealing with a kingdom, a common which has a commonwealth. Everything is common for us. So I don't worry about that because I understand who's the Lord, who's the ruler, who's the sovereign. That word Lord is, when you look it up, that's why I say it matters. Following ideals coming from excuse me, external religious sources. No, read Daniel chapter 7. Then you have, like I said, the Greeks is the leopard. Now, the legs and feet represent who? The iron feet. The iron feet represent who? Iron feet that will crush the nations, crush and subdue. That's wrong. Now, when you look up the nations that came out of Rome, modern day nations, is European nations. And I bring all that up to say this. I don't have no problem with people. Live your life. But when it comes to this Bible, I don't listen to no man or no woman. Yes, I have no problem building, but the Most High has the final say here. Everything is predicated on His word. Then my spirit following in obedience. You will know it's the truth. Without a doubt, think about it. Who else enslaved us? People don't want to talk about it, but it's the truth. And you notice the videos are out there, but yet they play the game so cold. They're still coming at you and speaking the truth, which shows you what part of the Bible is being fulfilled when they come at you like that. And you're speaking about the truth of God's word, trying to share what's been impressed on you to share. You're a minister. You're a priest like the Messiah, a priest in the kingdom. In the kingdom, kings are trained. They rule and have dominion, but they are learned. You know, they are learned in the history of their family, in its history as rulers, how to rule, the different languages of the nations, because you might be ruling nations. You want to learn languages, finances, because why? The king controls the money. That's his money, which he inherits from the King of Kings. You will inherit these things because he has given them to you. But as far as who the Gentiles are, I assure you, them the Europeans. You don't got to get it confused. I'll tell you, Genesis 10 and 5 is clear, just as plain as day. See, I don't have to worry. I don't run my YouTube channel to receive funds to fund anything I got going on. What I do is out of love for the Most High, right? So you know what I'm saying? I don't have nothing that they can take from me because they're mad because you're speaking a certain language that maybe they don't want you speaking. They don't want you to know. I doubt if they want you to know that. And I doubt if they want that exposed, but I can care less what they want. I'm concerned about what the Most High has established and fulfilling my purpose. Yet, with enough love and compassion for the people. But I'm not giving in to what they say. If that's the case, then why would the Most High choose you? I ain't soft on them. You know? I ain't soft on them. I'm not saying I will try to hurt nobody, but I ain't gonna let them do nothing to me. I ain't gonna let them do nothing to me and mine. And I ain't soft on them. And like I said, I don't depend on they credit. That ain't no fucking money. Africa got the money. Don't get it twisted. Africa got the commodity. God money. Wealth that don't lose. You know? Gold don't lose its value. You ask the average person, they'll tell you, oh, gold. No, gold don't lose its value. Gold loses value on the market because the gold shuts the dollar down completely. What you gonna do with the dollar when you got gold? That dollar lose value. It's losing value right now as we speak. Look it up. You think I'm lying? Y'all think because the government is in place, you delusion. Like that's gonna save all operations that's going on. I don't think so. They better hope the nations want to buy your debt. I'm up on the game now. I'm finna work, family. I'm about to work. I'm telling you. All that hindrance, this and that. I'm not concerned about none of that no more. It's go time. Everything goes. About to put my hands on America. They can make me whiz out. Watch. I'm not getting caught up in the shenanigans of the world. I don't care who ain't doing. That's your business. That's your business. I don't care there. But that's me and Lizanne. We about to raise this up. Time's up. You had your chance to do what you could have did. You didn't do it. Now The sons have awakened. It's time. We done took the Torah back. Ain't no time to take it. We been took the Torah back. Man. We took that thing. We took it as in we took back hold of what was established from the get-go. From the beginning. It ain't about religion. It's about a covenant between God and his people. Before they had a land, it was a covenant established between God and this people. So that's what I'm focused on. You know, and like I said, a lot of people, you would think they have the basic knowledge. And I realize that's why a lot of them don't listen to me. It's like I'm too far ahead. You can say, oh, he don't know nothing, dude ain't know nothing. That don't determine what I know. Material possessions don't determine what I know. It's the dedication and discipline to go and do the research, sit down to really go and learn this. Because why? It matters. Because I'm chosen, set apart for that very cause. Don't got to be this is my money right here. What I'm doing. Bringing light, shedding light on what's been impressed on my heart, what I've studied, and what's been revealed to me, according to the kingdom, not no religion. We are kings. That don't know you a king. Our people, like I say, we ever learning and never coming to the knowledge of truth. Because we don't believe. We say we believe, but we really don't. I have to check my own spirit on that. Like, okay, you say you believe in Most High, you love him, trust him, but the Most High has already given you. Why do you run to them? Why you can't be the boss? Sit down, devise the plan according to the instruction that's already given to you. You align yourself and teach others. What's wrong with that? Nothing. That's what I'm on. You're not going to hear me complain about nothing. I'm going to push this word out there. I don't need no bunch of visuals. That's what gets you lost. I don't need no, if you want to send some help, send me some people I can teach this word to subscribe to this channel. Each one teach one. Let me earn my, let me earn my respect as a servant. Yeah, he gave us rulership, but not to rule over each other. That's where the buck stopped. That's how I know. That's some European shit they own, that Roman shit. Same thing their ancestors did. That's how they know us. First enslavers were the Portuguese. Those Portugal came out of Rome. That's a child of Rome. That's why I keep it a buck, like I keep it a buck. If I don't keep it a buck, the Most High ain't gonna love that. The Most High ain't blessing that. The Most High gonna come at you, gonna whine about that word. I don't care who you are. It may seem like, that's like a lot of people say, well, the Bible is really just to shift your mind, heart, and spirit. It's not really literal in the sense of the kingdom and the established kingdom and this and that. I'd be like, these people are delusion. They can drunk the Kool-Aid. Eloquent speakers, a lot of them. I give it to them. But when you read that book, that's just like any other book you read. Yeah, they're going to tell you it's not real because they don't believe on the spirit. They follow the world. Yeah, they may sound good. They may have their ducks in line where they have disciplined themselves over the course of time to finally come into being able to lock in with the greater that's at work. You feel me? But that don't mean that's the Most High. And then you could tell because a lot of people that get wealthy, acquire wealth, just like we hear them, they hear us. And if they are the Most High, they understand that wealth is common. Like when the Most High established that with to the kingdom. Christ told them, keep the instructions and everything else, in which he had stated, I'll do all of those things. What more must I do? Christ told, take all you have and go sell it. And lay what you have at the feet of the disciples, the apostles, like Ananias and his wife. Remember they played them games? Talking about they sold their property for only so much. And Peter, the Spirit read that they was lying. And Peter exposed them. And what happened? They got flatlined right there on the spot for lying. He and his wife. And Peter asked him. So, in asking, you had a chance to think about what you're saying. Think about what you're going, how you respond before you respond. Then when you lie, family, just makes it hard on you. It just makes it hard on you. That's why I don't play with this book. I'm not prejudiced. I'm not racist. I'm telling the truth. You can read the spirit on people and basically tell who they are. Are they of God or are they of the devil? You can read their spirit. Look how they deal with you. Do they build for the kingdom or do they build for themselves in the world? Because the Most High is not, he's not dealing with world governments. That's not his system. They don't promote kingdom, so you gotta know something's off following them. You won't get no deliverance of nothing the Most High established following this world and what they own. You ain't gonna get none of that fulfilled because they don't follow that. That's not what their nation and government is established on. We are. We can busy. Hey, we are because we his people. And I know it's the truth because everything we do, you see the spirit is with us. All these years, family. I've been talking about this word and pushing it. For all them years, they were fighting. Now look at them now. The whole world is in an uproar. They done found out we the children of the book. The whole world gone crazy. But not us. I'm going back to the Lizite. I'm going back to my daddy. So I could be just like my daddy. Yahuwah. You did? Oh. I got your thing right here, Trina. Why you take that off? That's what that's for. I got you, baby. Let me show you how cold-blooded I am. This is a small one. Them small Negroes here, baby. Pay attention to details. I'm like, how you pay attention to everything, sugar? To be aware is to be alive. You want to be aware of what's going on as much as you can at all times. For the sake of self-preservation and protecting you and your loved ones. Somebody she must have stepped on that thing. Put that sucker back together. She might like me for a few minutes for that. Just for a few minutes, fellas. Y'all know how it is. Because they don't really love us, no. They just want you for your doggy style. That's all. They just want to use you up. They bad as men are. Like they done got cold-blooded like that. When the women get on that? Just want them brothers for their doggy style. and pay their bills. Can you pay my bills? Can you pay my automobiles? That's my girl. That's her song there. Can you pay my bills? You can't pay my bills. Hey, they swear they got power because they telling you, can you pay my bills? Now you might not have all the money right there, but one thing about a black man, I'm gonna tell you, he might not have no savings and access in certain areas, but he know how to get to it. I might not have money right there, no bunch of money laying somewhere to just sitting tight, where I can get to when, push come to shove. That's gonna change. We speak life over that, over our finances. If we bind any enemy that seeks to raise his head against the knowledge of truth, for what the Most High established for the commonwealth of heaven, meaning all things good and his are common to his people. But you won't find that in democracy. And who set the democracy up? The Greeks. The Romans and the Greeks. Now they're little babies. They're descendants that we are under today. Whose government we are under today. They don't have that in them to establish the kingdom. So I don't look for them to establish it or even want to establish it or even want to know about it and don't want you talking about it. I know that's how they rock. But sad to say for them, they nailed. It's a wrap. We done took that. We ain't worried about what they talking about. We have to take the kingdom the right way. You have the right tools in place, and you really that Bible comes alive in our hand in a way that it doesn't come in no other nation's hand. And the Most High is gonna come out of the out of that pain that was born out of his people because the false gospel. Yeah, exposing John Hagee, the Bible hearsay of Christian Zionism. That's the devil. You can call it what you want to. You can cut my video. That nigga the devil. They are that doctrine is the doctrine of devils, the black awakening. That's right. Your priesthood. Hmm. Understanding your spiritual authority. Law abiding citizens. And I'm not talking, when you hear me talking about law, I'm not talking about the Mosaic covenant. I'm talking about divine law, spiritual law, natural law. We're not talking about ritual law. There's a difference. And as a king, like I said, as a king, you have to be a well learned person. You're going to have to understand and know these things. You have to study the culture of that nation, meaning really adapt to it, get to know it. You are a worshiper. You are not religious. You are a son with power and authority. You speak that to them. Understand that's where his spiritual law come in because think about it. Money doesn't have an intricate value, but there's a spirit at work because they don't deal in kingdom economics. No, they don't. So my purpose is to, even if you had a job, now with the way I understand it, the Most High being Lord and ruler over all. He is Lord and Master over all things. So the things that I used to worry, I don't worry about that stuff no more. I was gonna get to talking about I didn't get a car today. You ain't heard me say nothing about a car. And I'm behind the eight ball. I just told my lady if I don't have that money tomorrow, look, I just pack my shit nobody back. And then I'm not trying to live off nobody. But then you would expect for your people to, okay, go do what you gotta do till you get on your feet, baby. I know you ain't gonna leave me out there, but everybody ain't cut like that. And like I said, I'm not looking for that because that's something I would do naturally. Oh yeah, you here, you good. You with me until you get up. Once you get up, you make sure you look out for me, god dang it. Don't be trying to don't forget about me because it's gonna come back. It's gonna come. You never know who you might need. You don't bite the hand that fed you. A lot of our people do that. That's bad business. That don't show no moral code. Like we just like you know. I ain't gonna even say that word. But like we don't got a clue, family. That's what we're awakening from to establish kingdom, our commonwealth. Commonwealth of love, communion, communing with your own people. You know, Satan and his minions, we're gonna run their ass off. Them the ones that reject the truth. I don't care if it's your parents. If they antichrist, they got to go. I just read that yesterday too, when Christ said, I didn't come to us to bring peace. I came to establish a sword. Establish the sword. You know, he's gonna turn family against family. All that. No. So when I be looking at people, yeah, we stick together, I love you. But he's gonna turn their hearts and mind to him to operate in spirit and in truth, not according to your democracy, your jobs and your titles and whatever have you. That shit is garbage. You wasted your time. Get rid of it. It's time to start again from scratch. I'm being honest. I can admit I done fumbled the ball. I ain't afraid to start over because what I'm thinking about is long term. And I ain't just thinking for myself. I'm thinking for my children, whether they realize it or not. Anything men in them yet. It's all about me, 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 me. That's what everybody down with the me, me, me. But black folk finding out, yeah, you got this mentality of me, 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 but it ain't predicated on how you play the game. And once your me fall off, then your ass back in the hood with us. They gonna remind you. They gonna remind me that you ain't one of them. You got to own and operate some shit, and then you got to understand. You got to learn how to play team, play as a team. Because when they get tired of you, when the one that's on the lowest of the totem pole, like I just watched this brother I've been watching for years, content creator in the sense of he creates content to show how he earns his value. Simple. I'm through playing games, man. Nothing to put me in mind on. I know how to do it now. And we gonna use their system, that credit system to do it. We gonna use that to establish ourselves. Watch this. That's how I turned up. Because I'm a businessman. I do business in different different areas. I'm in business in two different businesses, right? Shit, I can use whatever I get. Like me and my brother was talking, man, you can use that credit. I've been saying that. Go buy parts with it. You make the money off the parts. You using the money, the line of credit to buy parts. So what you doing in essence, no matter what, buy jackets, and I'm gonna stop talking about it and just do the shit because I can take the credit and use it where it's gonna multiply. We're gonna come from money, create assets. The things we buy will be an asset because I can take it, turn it, and make $1 off of it, make a profit, pay the debt before it's due, probably a few days. You want to do things in a timely manner so it can boost your credit score. I won't just pay it all out because why? We're gonna work this system. They talking shit about the Somalis, but one thing I can say, call it what you want. Everybody's scheming. Even those that's persecuting them. People scheme. But guess what? They schemed up on some billions to take care of their people. We can talk that shit about them, but they ain't making moves and coming on here talking about, oh no, we making moves for our political party, which is more important than doing things as a people. Where on reverse, in our case, you have black people talking about they standing with their political parties, everything else, and standing with one another. Oh no, you could just do this. No, you just do that because you're an opportunist. You don't believe in what you don't follow what we follow. So there's gonna be a conflict of interest. I'm not saying go do no stealing or nothing, but how the fuck you think our cousins got this nation and laid they lick? The Somalis giving their ass. Somalia produces natural resources. They ain't gonna tell you that part. That's why they so friendly with Somalia family. Because the moment they don't be friends with them, guess what? Somalis see it. And y'all would probably think, well, ain't no other African nation gonna say nothing about it. Bullshit. You said that with the Sahel region. Now they done kicked all of Europe, all the fuck up out of their money, businesses. Y'all begging them to come back over there now. But y'all got all this power. So Somalia ain't stupid. They understand that. But us, we ain't looking at the facts. I ain't trying to marry everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't gonna all get along with our different beliefs. But if you coming on here talking about you or in this earth and you know who you are, it's your obligation. It's your obligation to open the door to show your brothers and sisters love. I don't care what nation they come from. You're like gods, and you gotta rule in righteousness. You can't rule in devilment like these people in office. They rule in devilment. They use devil tactics. They don't use kingdom wisdom. They drop bombs, family. All that shit, getting them people money over there to do this and that. You don't. I don't care how many bombs they dropped or didn't. The mere fact that you doing it lets me know you're not of the Most High God. I don't read none of that in prophecy. Yeah, it's gonna be calamity and this and that things. And Luke 21 talks about it. You're gonna see a lot of things coming on this earth, but fear them not. Matthew 24, the same thing. Christ told us these things will come. But if we don't believe from the beginning, we're in trouble. And with that, shalom.